Introduce yourself and your job.
My name is Jeremy Valles. I'm a Biomed Lead Tech 3 in a clinical engineering department at St. Joseph's Hospital in Orange.
All right, question number one. What is your background of education and how far did you attend school?
My background in education, graduated high school of course, and I did some junior college, some drafting classes, and just a few other classes before I joined the military, where I did avionics on an aircraft. And I went to school and did a lot of electronics training, some hydraulics, mechanics, troubleshooting, safety, everything that pertains to airplanes basically.
All right. And during high school, what were your dreams relating to a career?
My dreams, I had always wanted to get into mechanical design of some sort. Definitely had a knack for mechanical repairs and troubleshooting and things like that.
Very interesting. What made you pick being a Biomed Tech 3 lead?
Well, I was already working at St. Joseph's Hospital in another department, and I happened to see some of the biomed technicians run around the hospital doing various repairs and tasks, and I saw what they were doing looked intriguing, and I asked them questions, and I found out they were looking for an additional tech for their shop.
So was there any qualifications for the job?
Qualifications, the primary qualification is just electronics background. You have to have electronics training, electronics repair, troubleshooting. That's an absolute must for a biomed technician. You know, it helps if you have some hospital skills already. The hospital environment is very unique, so that helps.
So describe an average day on the job.
Average day, you get into my shop, check the emails, check status on parts that we've ordered for previous repairs that are in progress, take trouble calls. You know, all day long we're getting trouble calls from different departments and repairs that we have to go look into, and projects that are going on, you know, upgrades of systems that are already in the hospital. Ordering parts for other technicians. I'm the lead, so I have to facilitate the repairs for the rest of the guys in the shop, or guys and girls that is.
So what is the most fun part on the job?
The most fun part for me is getting a repair call that requires some troubleshooting and some reasoning and really digging into stuff and coming up with some good answers to fix these troubles that I've never seen.
All right. And then do you have to interact with patients, or is it mostly just with coworkers?
We interact with patients very infrequently. Most of the time we are interacting with the nurses, you know, the hospital staff, the nurses, the doctors. You know, one of my specialties, for example, is working on the anesthesia machines. So I interact directly with the anesthesiologists on a daily basis. They will call me, ask me directly. I go down into the surgery suite with them, you know, troubleshoot some small problems on the machines while they're actually in cases, or just gather information from them. So to help facilitate my repair of the machine and my troubleshooting of the machine when I do have access to it.
How many hours per week would you say that you work on average?
Somewhere in the neighborhood of 40 to 50 hours a week. I do a fair amount of overtime. We do on-call time. You know, the on-call is a 24/7 thing. Carry a pager around, and I always got to be ready to go.
And who do you think this is a job for? Like someone that's more mechanically strong, or someone that is good in like an office environment?
Biomed technician it's really a good cross between mechanical, electronics, and some customer service skills. You know, the mechanical aspects of it, there's, you know, every bit of equipment has a user interface, and there's those mechanical portions of it that you really have to understand how things work. And then there's the electronics part of it, whereas you have to dig further into the equipment at times to get deeper to find the root of the problems. And then the customer service, in the hospital industry, the repair on the parts, it is crucial for the documentation portion of it. You know, if the documentation doesn't support the work that was done, then it's as though the work was never done.
So what do you think is like the biggest curveball you received on a call?
Well, oftentimes we get calls there where the staff members give us no information, prior information.
They just
to
tell you
what
it's
the-
wrong and fix it.
They tell me it's broken,
Yeah.
and those are the hardest ones. When you come up to a machine that's got, you know, a bunch of different functions and a bunch of different operations, and they tell you the machine is just broken, and you ask them, well, what exactly is broken around it? And they say, well, I don't really know, but it's broken. So that's probably the most challenging. Then you basically just have to check everything on the machine top to bottom.
And then, do you think that there are any what are the positives to having this job?
Positives, one of the best things about it, in my opinion, is that the schedule is somewhat flexible. There's a constant array of new work. I mean, the hospital is always getting new equipment in to replace old equipment. So it's always new equipment coming in the doors. So it's neat because we get to see new stuff all the time, and new troubles, and new problems, and we get to see the evolution of the equipment is a really neat part of it.
So for someone that's interested in this career, what advice would you give them?
Advice I would give them, I would say the first thing you need to do is find out if you have the aptitude for the mechanics portion of it and the electronics portion of it. You know, if you are naturally, I want to say, sort of skilled or take easily to mechanical repair or electronics repair, both of them is really the best answer. If you can get all that stuff, then then it's something that that you really might enjoy.
So to finalize this, what final advice would you give to the rest of the seniors that are ready to basically experience life?
Advice? I'd say go to school. You know, the first thing being get into school, get your education going. You know, once you started touching some different subjects, then you can really decide what you naturally take to, what aptitude is, what aptitude you have. Like for me, it was the mechanical and it was the electronics, and I didn't realize that till further on in my career when I like I said earlier, I was thinking towards the mechanical design portion. But as I started to realize that my real passion was for the repairs and that troubleshooting of the problem. So just get out there and go to school and start learning about it. If biomed's something you want to get into, start taking some electronics. Get into the electronics. That's definitely the hardest part of the whole deal.
All right. Thank you very much, and have a very Merry Christmas.